You are watching Slime Recap.
Receiving a direct transmission, Yin was informed that it was the Alliance leader's strict order to secure the immediate area first. She was to hold her position and wait for the main force to arrive before making any further moves. Lowering her weapon, she put down her blade and bluntly told Xiaoqiu to consider himself incredibly lucky today. Xiaoqiu was left there, completely confused, bracing for a fatal strike, only to see that Yin was suddenly not going to delete him. When he questioned it, she simply dismissed him by stating it was the Alliance leader's absolute orders. Watching from his hidden vantage point, Snakey breathed a massive sigh of relief seeing that his friend was no longer in danger of getting deleted. However, his own situation remained incredibly dire. He was completely pinned down and unable to move a single muscle. His precious true chi was still being endlessly and forcefully siphoned straight into the moon-bearing pagoda. Trapped in this predicament, he could only silently hope that the intruders would finish their business quickly and leave the area without lingering. Most importantly, he needed to ensure they absolutely did not discover his location while he was this vulnerable. Without warning, a massive earthquake violently shook the ground beneath them, completely disorienting everyone in the vicinity. Deep within the underground tunnels, heavy boulders began to rapidly fall from the ceiling. Dodging the falling debris, Hante angrily questioned what desperate trick the Elder had just pulled to cause the entire tunnel structure to collapse. Hante felt he had deliberately pulled his punches this entire time just to spare the old man's life, but he felt the Elder was now severely pushing his luck. However, the Elder was equally shocked. He quickly realized the terrifying truth. The Grand Sect protection array itself was actively collapsing. In a moment of defeat, the Elder thought that perhaps the heavens themselves truly wanted to completely destroy the mountain-moving sect. The tremors only intensified, and the entire mountain began to violently shake as the solid ground beneath them began to actively crumble away. Meanwhile, back on the surface battlefield, Zhang Tai was still locked in brutal combat with the massive stone Taoist. Relying entirely on his monstrous physical strength, Zhang Tai was relentlessly pushing the towering construct back step by step. He let out a booming laugh aimed directly at Wu Gui's lingering spirit, mocking him by saying that he clearly no longer possessed the necessary strength to protect the mountain-moving sect. Standing nearby, Shi Fengzi watched in absolute horror. He was terrified to see that even the sect's powerful Tier 3 array spirit, the Stone Taoist, was completely unable to stop Zhang Tai's advance. Taking advantage of his momentum, Zhang Tai then summoned his massive, glowing spirit hammer. He loudly taunted Shi Fengzi, telling him to watch closely as he shattered his soul into pieces with just a single hammer strike. With devastating force, he brought his heavy hammer crashing down directly onto the Stone Taoist, instantly crushing the defensive array spirit right along with Shi Fengzi's tethered soul. As the dust settled, Zhang Tai coldly told them to take their journey to the underworld alongside their precious Grand Sect protection array. The core array spirit had been completely shattered, and the sect's ultimate line of defense was finally broken for good. Surveying the destruction, the Alliance leader then shifted his gaze downward to Shiyazi. The sect leader had finally reached his absolute physical limit and was left lying helplessly on the shattered ground. The Alliance leader looked down at him and stated that centuries ago, back when the original mountain-moving patriarch was still alive and leading them, the mountain-moving sect had truly been a glorious and respectable faction. He added that if Wu Gui were still standing here today, he would have never allowed his proud disciples to willingly become the subservient running dogs of the invading Qin army. But now, looking at their current state, they had completely squandered the rich legacy that Wu Gui had left behind for them. Because of this ultimate betrayal, the Alliance leader declared that the mountain-moving sect must perish today, raising his hands as he ruthlessly cast his spell once more. Instantly, the glowing symbols of absolute despair reappeared, hovering menacingly above the heads of all the surviving sect members. Staring up at the symbol, Shi Yazi knew deep down that it was completely impossible for him to muster the strength to dispel the curse this time around. His fate was firmly sealed, their doom was now inescapable, and there was absolutely nothing left he could do to reverse it. Yet, as he lay there awaiting the end, he internally decided that he did not regret his past decisions. He firmly believed that if they hadn't made the difficult choice to defect and align with the Qin army back then, the mountain-moving sect would have been completely annihilated by their enemies a very long time ago. With the defenses down, the Alliance leader turned and casually ordered Zhang Tai to completely tear the roof off the mountain. Zhang Tai grinned and happily obliged the command. Now that the pesky Grand Sect protection array was out of the way, tearing the roof off the mountain was going to be an absolute piece of cake for someone of his sheer strength. Channeling his energy, he quickly summoned 2 gigantic, ethereal spirit hands and reached out to physically grab hold of the mountain structure itself. The massive spirit hands dug deep into the foundational rock of the sect's main buildings. Planting his feet, Zhang Tai pulled backward with all his monstrous force, violently tearing the entire ceiling and surrounding buildings completely off their foundations and destroying everything in his path. This single display of raw power reduced the entire central area of the sect into a pile of broken rubble. Floating above the devastation, the Alliance leader just scoffed down at the remaining survivors, watching the trapped mountain-moving sect disciples tremble in pure terror beneath the open sky. He coldly remarked that the little ants now had absolutely nowhere left to run. Turning to his subordinates, he then explicitly ordered Xiang Fei and Kushuan to wrap things up on the surface and thoroughly clear the place out, a command they immediately obeyed without hesitation. Down below in the quiet furnace room, the Alliance leader suddenly noticed an anomaly. He sensed that all of the ambient dragon's chi in the area had unusually gathered right at the artifact refining room. Sensing that Xiao Chou was securely held in that exact location as well, he signaled for Zhang Tai to follow him down, stating that they needed to go and take a closer look at the situation. Once the Alliance leader arrived at the refining room, Yin stepped forward and officially presented the captured Xiao Chou to him, respectfully asking what exact punishment they should carry out against him. Not backing down, Xiao Chou glared at them and told them to go ahead and do their absolute worst, challenging them whether their plan was deleting him on the spot or subjecting him to torture. Hearing this defiant response, the Alliance leader silently noted to himself that this young cultivator actually had quite a bit of backbone. Suddenly, Xiao Chou's master spoke up, desperately trying to intervene. He loudly declared to the intruders that Xiao Chou was officially no longer a member of the mountain-moving sect. As Xiao Chou panicked and tried to stop his master from protecting him, the old man harshly ordered him to shut up, firmly stating that he was no longer his master from this day forward. However, the Alliance leader calmly raised a hand and told both of them to rest assured. He announced that they were actually not going to delete Xiao Chou today, and with a wave of his hand, he completely released his restraints. The leader then revealed his reasoning, stating that they knew Xiao Chou was the renowned hero who had single-handedly slain 5 of the Qin Army's Foundation establishment cultivators in a row. Upon hearing this revelation, Zhang Ti started laughing out loud, finally understanding his leader's true intent and clearly recognizing exactly who Xiao Chou was. Even the normally stoic Yin looked over and admitted that his combat record was pretty impressive. Bro suddenly became famous. The Alliance leader then stepped closer and told Xiao Chou that he was personally giving him a rare chance to live, pointing out that since they both clearly shared the exact same ambition against the Qin army, they were on the same side. He then extended a direct invitation telling Xiao Chou to officially join their alliance. That's the end of chapter 101. But not the end of your entertainment, so go and watch the video next, displaying on your screen.